Yeah, it's pretty real right now. It's September 30th, 2016. I just came from the doctor's office. I had to get a second ultrasound. This video is about that first shock factor when you realize that your body's not perfect and that it's slightly turning against you. It's scary. I couldn't quite handle what I was feeling, so I stepped off and came here to a fire escape just to think and pray. I I love God. I praise Him. I worship Him. I can't believe that this is what He sent to me, and it hurts. I'm very active. I like to work out. I like to bench press. I like to jog, play volleyball. 4 seasons, really. Sports. So this doesn't make sense that I would have fibroids. And it is scary. 34 years old, unmarried, single, and I had to choose between a hysterectomy at 34 or I don't know, she gave me so much literature. I was like, what is this? Pamphlets, and it's just a lot to process. So I went and got a second opinion from another doctor, like 400 some miles away, and he put me on birth control because when you find out you have fibroids, they'll tell you, just monitor it, or you could do something about it. But let's try birth control. So I tried birth control. And I'm a person who's naturally hyper. Like I get up in the morning and I'm ready to go. It's game time. Like he gave me life. We're doing this thing. But birth control made me very docile. It made me very lethargic. It made me lazy. It gave me a so what attitude. I don't care attitude. And I asked my doctor, the second one, I got the second opinion from, if I should come off birth control. And his nurse, who answers the phone because he's busy, said, well, what experiences are you having? So I told her my story, and then she went back to the doctor. And she said, well, you can come off birth control, but with this fibroid and it's spotting every time I go work out, it would also spot. I would personally be spotting like those first signs of when you're about to have a menstruation, which is light activity. It could be like getting up out of bed. And that's how I knew something was wrong. So she told me if I came off of the fibroid, not the fibroid, the birth control, it would resume, and that I would have I'd have a first regular period, but then all the other periods would be irregular. So, I don't know. During that period, I hated life. It's like it just zapped all my energy. I had no energy. I had no desire to do anything when I was taking birth control. And I wonder how, or if, there were other people just like that who didn't realize that, birth control is making them gain weight, making them lethargic, making them, be removed from everyday life. It certainly did that for me. So I came off birth control. And then he said, well, you could take Lupron. Well, if you've ever seen the websites for taking Lupron, they're like, hated it, put you into menopause, it's irreversible, you have early osteoporosis, you have more crashes of energy, more crashes of, that natural pep that you have, you know. So I didn't want to take Lupron. I stayed at the altar. Kept praying. Guys, I have changed my entire diet. God is good. I used to be able to eat, drink, go, do whatever I want to do. Now infrequently I have back pain. I still have spotting. I have times where I feel like my hands and my legs and my ligaments are slow to like fire, I'm always going to the bathroom. And there's a knot in my stomach that, like, when you like completely flat on the floor and you like, you just feel around. There's a lot of soft areas, but mine sitting like directly down underneath my belly button on my uterus, and it's a distinct knot. Like, it feels like it's about, okay, so this would be the size of an apple, this would be an orange, this would be a grapefruit. Mine feels like that. Huh? Yeah. So I know God has not forsaken me. I know everything is in His will, but this is a heck of a gut punch. Keep asking myself, what did I do wrong? So back to my eating, I read some blogs, right? Because we know that Google will set us free, and also that we won't have to pay for advice. So I read a few blogs. I checked out a few holistic doctors, and they recommended to move away from an estrogen heavy diet, which isn't everything. It's not funny. So I gave up fried foods, Chinese food, Thai food, Indian MSG, soy sauce with regular sodium levels in it. Gave up the majority of dairy, gave up low dairy items like, I don't want to name any names, but there's certain dairy that you can get from Whole Foods, Fresh Thyme, Trader Joe's. Pay a little bit more, for the milk, the cheese, the cottage cheese, the sour cream, the half and half, but I'm here to tell you, it works. So I gave up gluten, gave up pork, because pork is very heavy estrogen dominant food. Beer. Loved beer. Don't judge me. And a slew of other things. I mean, my diet is more cleaner than a diabetic who had sugar of 800. It's high and it may not exist, but if you saw my diet, you would ask, how long are you going to be on this diet? Because that ain't long term, that ain't practical. But the truth is, this is my life. And the really sad thing about all this is I feel like it's growing, like when I take an examination of my stomach, I feel like it's growing. So this healthy lifestyle hasn't shrunk it. There's so many disappointments that keep toppling on top of each other. Lord, I just don't know. So I get the second ultrasound today, and I'm joking with the nurses, and she said, well, it's definitely 2. It's no longer 7 centimeters. It may be 10 or more. It's no longer 12 to 14. It may be 14 to 16 weeks. And yeah, it has moved your ovaries to the back of your body. So when you see a chart of the women reproductive system, you know, you usually have some type of, right, this shows my lack of what's going on with my anatomy, but you usually have like the uterus here, you have the cervix a little lower, and then there's like these branches, right, that hold the ovaries. Mine are all grouped and pushed to the back of my body because the fibroid's that big. So I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I just looked online and watched a few abdominal myomectomy surgeries because my mentor in IU told me to be more aware of what's going on and what's going to happen. My surgery is October the 25th on a Tuesday at 8:15 in the morning. Today is only September 30th. I went from feeling blessed and highly favored to feeling like there's something wrong with me. It's scary watching those videos. Hysterectomy, the H word, that's even scarier. I reached out to my good friends, about 20 of them, told them about it, and they were all so supportive, but nothing eggs at you like when you first get that diagnosis. Nothing makes that worse. Sorry about that. Someone was coming down the stairs. As I said, this is a stairwell, and I just needed a moment. So this is what I'll say to those who are listening. I was a person who did not believe in pap smears or breast exams or any of those other things. I'm not telling you that you have to, but I'm saying that I think this could have been prevented. I think instead of it being an invasive surgery, I think it could have been solved with something like they have these new treatments that are like with radiation, and it's less invasive. But where it is now, you know, I have to do something about it because it is large, as I was mentioning to you. I am scared. But I do want that if you are particularly a woman who doesn't like doctors, such as myself, and also if you are a woman who, you know, doesn't get regular checkups, and, you know, you feel around your breast and you're just uncertain. If you're working, Starbucks, Home Depot, a good job, an office job, a factory job, whatever it is, if you have health care, it comes out of our check every month anyway. But, you know, frankly, I won't say it's a black thing, but I would go so far to say we really don't want to know. We'd rather be in the dark. So if you're like me, I'd like you to revisit that thinking and do the opposite. It won't hurt you. But if you do notice that there's a knot, discomfort, really heavy menstrual periods, back pain, like lower pelvic pain, so I'll show you. Whoa. So like this is my stomach, right here. This is my stomach right here. The fibroid is from here to here. And it's physically sitting here. I'm palming it. That's how big it is. Lower pelvic pain would be right here. The appendix, I was told, would be somewhere in here, but the pain will arrive somewhere in this area for lower pelvic pain, or sometimes it's here. Then you have back pain, which is right there. If that's consistent and it keeps happening, take the time to find out why. Take the time to find out why. So, this is video 1 of I have no idea how many, but I just want to share. See you before or after the surgery.